You're listening to Rebel Spirituality with me, Sam Goldfinch. Here's the truth. Wisdom doesn't follow rules. So each week we're going to explore what it means to wake up your way so you can live a more peaceful, creative and inspired life no matter your circumstances. It's time to blaze your unique path to truth. Hey Rebel. So I think I'm going to call this one, How Are You Playing the Game of Life? And most people are playing the game that they've been taught. It makes sense, right? So the game that we're taught is go to school, get a good education, get a decent job, build a pension, get a house, all this kind of stuff. And kind of inherent in it is this idea that if you can get the right orientation of things, the correct collection of stuff, then you'll be able to create something upon which you can build a secure life and you can bumble through it and you can be okay. But most of us have come to realize one way or another, I would guess if you're listening to this podcast, you've caught sight of this at least to some degree, that that's not actually how it works. That given that our experience of life is created from within and that things out there don't create our experience, we create our internally generated experience of things, then the correct orientation of things, it might help for a little while, but I don't know if you've noticed, if we tend to get to that space and we go, okay, I'm here, amazing, fantastic. And then maybe we feel insecure or we feel not enough because we're aligning and believing in the stuff that's happening inside. And I want to kind of draw attention to this because it's almost like when you built a house of cards when you were a kid. So I can remember building a house of cards, and it's funny, you'd be there and you'd be delicately putting things together, right? You'd be delicately putting your life together. This is the kind of metaphor, the analogy. And often, you'd kind of have to match up the top of the cards. The actual thing itself was incredibly satisfying. I used to love doing that. And you'd be trying to build it bigger and bigger. And you'd kind of put the last two cards together on top of the house of cards. And then you'd have to be really kind of careful not to fuck it up, basically, right? And isn't this kind of like how we relate to life? If we ever get the perfect orientation, we think, okay, now I can't fuck it up. So the moment it's been created, we instantly get insecure about keeping it like that. Because if our security is coming from that stuff out there, that would make total sense, right? So we flip almost instantly from this creation of the house to, oh my God, now I need to protect it. And at some point, life comes along. So either we do something and one of the bottom of the house of cards comes out and the whole thing collapses, or wind appears and blows the whole thing down. And we go, it can't have been that orientation of things. I need a different, more intricate, bigger creation. I need a different house of cards. So perhaps the previous time we'd had 4 cards connected at the bottom of this tower, and so this time we think, well, I need 5 or I need 6, and it takes us more time to build that thing. And we get to the top and we think, oh my God, I've made it. And then in that very instant we think, oh shit, now I have to protect it. And this way of relating to it is almost like we're doing a deal for peace. It's sort of like, okay, life, I'll do a deal with you. I'm going to work really hard, or I'm going to do this stuff, and I'm going to create this thing. And once I've created it, and once it's there solid, the deal is then I get to feel okay, and then I get to feel secure, and I get to feel peaceful. But that deal is it's not built on solid ground, right? You don't want to make deals with people if you know that they're kind of not good for it. And I think that's the thing that we start to uncover and discover is we make a bunch of these deals. We realize that, it doesn't work that way. And then we can kind of feel a little bit like, well, what am I supposed to do then? I can see that security, it can't be conditional. If my freedom or my security depends on life looking a certain way, I'm in a bit of a pickle, because sooner or later we come to realize that things come and go. Businesses come and go. People come and go. Relationships come and go. Everything comes and goes. And some things are more lasting than others. And it's not that we can't enjoy things and find them wonderful. But if we've got our entire sense of freedom pinned to them, then it feels like we're held hostage by the circumstances of our lives, and it doesn't really feel like we're free. So unconditional freedom, unconditional security, it can't come from there. It has to come from somewhere else. It can't be that, well, my house of cards is built, so now it's okay, and if I take this bit out, I'm no longer free. It can't be that, can it? And so then the question is, well, if everything comes and goes, where does one find true security? And of course, the answer to that is in the only thing that doesn't change. And the only thing that doesn't change is you. Who you really are, what you really are. The fact of experiencing, source, being. This is what all the traditions are pointing to. This is the capital T truth. The one thing that can't be negated. Being, consciousness, awakeness, aware. Even like, I don't want to make it sound like a thing, because it is the no thing, which is also everything. I wrote a piece recently called The One Thing That Never Changes, that many of you may have read on Substack. And, the end of that, I'd like to just kind of read that to you now here. So here we go. The only constant in life is change, and yet you are always you. You are the one thing that never changes, and you are everything else too. And in that reflection, I'd put thing in kind of quotes, because of course you're not a thing. You're a no thing. And that's not the nothing that the mind can create and the, oh my God, it's the formless dimension or aspect or truth of everything. Of course, there's really no separation between the formless and the form. We just kind of relate to it in that way, because from the dualistic mind, it looks like that. But this whole thing, this whole game of life isn't about building the perfect house of cards. It's about doing the things that make sense to us. Of course, creating the things that we'd love to have. And, there's nothing wrong with creating that business or getting that car or getting that house. But all of this, I think, we're being woken up to get the kind of right end of the stick, because I think we've been getting the wrong end of the stick. And it's really, really wonderful to wake up to this unconditional freedom, this unconditional security that can only be recognized now, in this moment. It can only be recognized here and now, because it's you. I think that's it. I don't really think I have anything else to say. Just had that image to come to me. I thought it was fun to play with that. Yeah, so I hope you have a lovely day and all that stuff, Rebel, and I'll catch you really soon. Hey Rebel, just a quick one from me to say that if you're touched or interested in any of the things I cover in this podcast, the links to my new program, The Escape Plan, are in the show notes, so be sure to check those out, and I'd love to see you there. All right, have an awesome day.